They are from the two-time People's Choice Award-winning iHeartRadio podcast. Please welcome Becca, Tilley, and Tanya Rad.
Some very kind people have shown their love and appreciation. Thank you so much.
So, Taylor Swift.
I know. I'm not lining myself up with her in any way. So that's all. And I'll take it.
I have to say something that they got. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're kind of behind me. Sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. But I want you guys to, because that is like literally from the fans that they
these are incredible. Amazing.
I have to say something kind of vulnerable to you, KaDee. Yeah. I used to watch fan edits of you and Cooper on practice because I feel like y'all had the best chemistry, and so I'd watch y'all's like sing 2 songs. I don't know if anyone not sure if that was that vulnerable if people here have done that, but just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. I'll share that with us all.
Yeah, let me know. What is it like being at an event like this where everyone is here just to celebrate what you've done?
Do you want to go down the line?
I want everyone to answer, yeah.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Gosh. That's just me getting choked up, and I'm serious. There's something remarkable about the thing we love in life. Sorry. And it happening to an audience. Like, I'm lucky because I've been able to do the thing I love. The fact that anybody's watched it and cares is a layer to that is so beyond sort of just like, hey, my brain can process this. It's so huge. And then for it to have a life all these years later, and I was telling Kate when we were in there signing stuff and meeting fans, I heard her voice. And it's like Pavlovian. It literally takes me back to a time in my life that was such a remarkable time in my life. Just hearing her voice. And the fact that all this time has passed and people still rewatch the show, or still connect with the characters. The fact that we did storylines that no one was doing at the time on network television, and to have been a part of that, and to still be a part of that, and those stories still have relevance today, and to connect with you and to look you in the eye and know that you spent your time to get here, that you want to have your photo with me is so beyond my brain, but really fills my heart in a way that I can't thank you enough for, and it also gives me a great excuse to hang out with this gal. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of, to quote Kate Walsh, party.
Well, I'd say everything that she said, but really it is just very, very moving and kind of overwhelming. I think that we talk a lot about, and I'm sure Adelaide, you'll probably jive with this, but how meaningful it is for these storylines that Shonda and all the other writers on Grey's and Private Practice come up with to help people and to help us connect. And it's why I do what I do, and I think it's what's great about, you know, whether you're a musician or an athlete or a very fortunate actor, to be on a show that really wants to take risks and tell multifaceted stories about lots of different characters from lots of different aspects of life, and then to be able to connect with you and know that it's so meaningful to you. And I've heard so many beautiful personal stories about how the shows have affected people or gotten them through difficult times in life, and that's what it's there for, is to make people feel connected, seen, and heard, and understood, and entertained, to make you laugh and make you cry. So it's really very meaningful to, we don't often, unless you're doing a play, get to meet the audience. So thank you for being here.
I feel like those are some really hard acts to follow. It really is, coming to conventions is a really unique opportunity to give something back to fans and the fandom, because we wouldn't be able to continue working, we wouldn't be doing what we do, what we love, without you and without your continued support. We wouldn't be able to do this. So it is a really unique opportunity to show up for you guys in a way that's more meaningful than just showing up to set all day, you know? And like Kate says, that the whole point of acting in media and film and TV is to represent what life is like. So that no matter where you are, or what your circumstances are, you feel seen and you feel heard, and I think most importantly, you know that you're not alone. Which I think as times continue to change is really important. It's really important to see yourself on screen and know that you're not alone, that you're not the only person who feels that way, who's been through this thing, whatever it may be. And we're all very fortunate in that we've had careers and have jobs, not only in a very difficult industry, but on projects that prioritize the human experience. To really these are the ladies. Thank you so much for coming.
We have very special fans too. I didn't want to say that. Like, our fans are very unique because I feel that our fans have a longevity with these stories, and a way of, to your point, connecting with us when they're in front of us that feels very unique. You guys are, and if you're around convention people, they will tell you, you can tell a lot about the shows by the people that watch them. So I did want to make sure that that was said, because I've thought a lot about that. Like, you guys are special critters.
But you know what I find so interesting, and maybe you guys can speak to this too. I feel like as a fan, right? Like I can't separate the two. So so Kate, for example, I hated your character when I met her. When you came in, I was like, no. And then you made me love you. Like, I just fell in love with you as a character. And like, I can't separate you from that. Like, when you meet fans of all your shows, like, what are the first things that, like, is that what they go to? They like think that you are the character?
I don't know. I've definitely heard what you said. Like, I hate that you came on and like, I liked you, but that I really feel like is a testament to the writers too, and that's something that just.
But you as an actress too.
Well, yeah, thanks. But I mean, we do our job, we're conduits, and yes, I mean, what we do, hopefully, is bring humanity to people, and that's the idea. But Shonda's kind of an expert in her land of writers and creators of showing multifaceted characters and flipping, and maybe you see people from all perspectives. And that's it. It's like fallibility, or like judge not unless you judge whatever. I don't know. Like don't judge a book by its cover. All the things like they're like I hate you, and you're like, oh no, I love you.
Yeah.
And that's humanity. Like we all have that in us. The ability to be like, oh, how irritating that person is, and you're like, oh no, actually, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, we had a conversation with Adelaide about that earlier, about coming onto a show where there's already this established connection with the fans and the characters, and being the new person that comes in and messing up a relationship, or disturbing the peace, and how intimidating and also complicated that is. But once there's character development, you're like, oh, that person's kind of like me, or, I relate to that person more the more I get to know them.
That's funny, yeah. Yeah, it is. You're just like, I loved it. I love playing the villain. I mean, I don't know if you know this, I've done it on a few shows, but yeah, I really love being the outsider coming in to mess things up and irritate and irritate. It's just fun as an actor to play that. So, and when we started, there were just message boards. There was no internet. We started great. So I never looked. Actors will get really upset, like, look at this, they don't like me, or they don't. And I was like, I don't know that. I just got nothing to do with, memorizing lines and preparing hair and makeup and all that. I was like, yeah. So, but I really enjoyed it. I like playing the villain.
It's a lot of fun. Villains are the best characters to play. But I think also someone does a really good job of making characters so complex that as you want to peel the layers episode by episode, you understand why they do the things they do, why they behave the way they behave. And also it's really good at writing redemption arcs and the ability for these characters to learn from their mistakes and grow and change and become better versions of themselves. And it's the beautiful thing about messing up both in life and in fiction is you get to choose whether you learn from those mistakes or you keep repeating the same patterns. And we get to portray that in kind of real time on screen, which is
I do find that interesting. You were saying earlier that there was just message boards when you were doing shows, and now there's social media. Is that when you can see fans' reactions right away to an episode or anything like that? Do you feel like that sometimes can sway certain direction of the show, or like you see the fans really love that, so then you lean into that more, or is it better for you just to like not?
I mean, our job is to service the material. So ultimately, what is on the page is once the rewrites are done, that's what you're doing. So there's no getting in and changing it. And we have well-defined characters too. I would hate to ever sway anything for results. And, honestly, when writing is that good, you do what's on the page. Like, you trust it, you know that a lot of times have things in mind that you may not understand when you get the script, but it leads to something, and it becomes an exercise of trust and a real agency with knowing that if you have questions, you have to ask them. It would be hard to say whether or not, I can't imagine, honestly, I can't speak for anyone but myself, but I can't imagine those writers are like, what did the message board say? I mean, Shonda Rhimes is a force, and the writers she hires are forces of nature, and they've got their own cauldron in the back room that they're all stirring and doing, and you sit down and, I'd still, God, the table reads. It's like, that's one of my favorite things to think about, because sometimes you would often sit down as a group of all of you, break bread on your lunch break, and read these words for the first time out loud. There was nothing influencing that with the room. So I think, the way I work is what's on the page is what I'm asked to do, and I have great reverence for that part of the process. That's kind of how I work.
I would say the storyline itself is, to put it bluntly, kind of outside our category. That's not what we do as actors. We don't write stories, we don't create like. We serve as a vehicle for stories. So our job is to take scripts, direction, overarching, notes from production scripts, back experience, and translate that to screen in a way that is understandable and connectable for an audience. That's our job. I think sometimes fans of the outer world think we have a lot more control than we do over what our characters do and say. We don't. We can be like, hey, this line isn't quite making sense to you, might have been shifted to this for some more clarification, or because I'd like it to sort of have this kind of job is to take, like, you know, the creative ingredients that have been given to us by 5 or 6 different people and make a meal out of them to feed you with. As best as we can. As far as forums and social media and message boards and stuff go, I learned that at 16 when I went on a forum when I was on a soap opera. And I still remember the first insult ever written about me and my lack of acting ability. And it stayed with me, and at 16 I went, no, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. Generally speaking, I don't look at forums or message boards or go hunting in comments because I can read 100 wonderful comments about my performance and my character, and I will go looking for the one that's negative, and I will internalize it and decide that I'm an awful academic person. And that's not helpful. It doesn't help me in my craft. It doesn't help me be a better actor. So generally speaking, I don't go looking for any of that because I will fixate on the bad thing, and it'll ruin my week, it'll ruin my performance, and I won't get it better. I think monitoring that sort of thing. I mean, if someone's feeling, I don't like this program, that's one thing. But I do think that the networking productions do take into account when more important issues arise. That's like, we hate this character, or we don't like this storyline because this particular subject needs to be handled in a different way because it's X, Y, Z. I think they pay attention to things like that where they're like, okay, we could do this better. We could be more sensitive, we could maybe restructure the next couple of episodes, we can circle back to this in a more informal way, and make this more functional. I think they pay attention in that sense, because I feel like there is a strong sense of responsibility, you know, socially to be progressive and have a wide variety of people in wide varieties of, you know, socioeconomic, all of it, like different ethnicities, religions, sexualities, different gender expressions. They're very responsible and very considerate in showing the world in all of its diversity. So I would say they probably make sure to be very careful of that and keep an eye on if they miss something, but generally speaking they don't, because they care a lot, and we care a lot. We're just out of the about that. Sorry, I've been talking. I'm so sorry.
Well, since our podcast is based on our love for Grey's Anatomy, we could sit here all day with the three of you, but this is for the fans.
For the
so we're going to turn it
fans.
over to them,
Yes.
and they know when it's their time.
So if you guys have a question, if you could just line up behind that microphone in the middle so we can kind of get a visual of how many of you there are. And then, wow, that's awesome. Love to see it. And then maybe if you want to just like say your name and then your question. Does that work for you guys? That'd be great.
Hi everyone, I'm Gabrielle. Hi. I actually had a question about transitioning from Rain and going into Grey's Anatomy. How did you feel changing from a period piece essentially into more of a mainstream, more current role?
You know, I get this question by the way. There was a 4-year gap between wrapping on Rain and then starting on Grey's. So I wouldn't say it was a transition per se. I definitely very much enjoy working 10 minutes from my house instead of in another country, in another city. And I also very much enjoy wearing sneakers and sports bra and scrubs every day instead of wearing corsets and heels with 8 layers of literal furniture upholstery fabric every day. And I don't have to wear a half wig in the summer on a horse anymore, which is also very nice. Rain will always have a very special place in my heart. I grew up on that set. I was 23 when I started. My frontal lobe came online on season 3. And I feel like you can see it in my performance. But they're incredibly different projects, and I think I've been very blessed in that I've done a very diverse range of just weird stuff in my career. And this is just like another exciting new chapter in something different.
Also, I love your TikToks, by the way. You need to bring them back.
I know. My trash account, it wasn't supposed to be that big. It was just supposed to be garbage.
Gianna. I got a question for Adelaide. What was your favorite part of Rain that you loved so much?
Marrying Francis. That was like my favorite, it's one of my favorite scenes. That and any time, like after my character finally got a baby, somebody else got baby before me. Every time she was a baby, because I am baby crazy. I've been baby crazy since I was a baby myself. And I would just forget my lines. Every scene I had a baby, I'd be like, wait, what? Oh, right, action, sorry. That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Melinda, and my question is for KaDee. The very first episode of Private Practice that I watched was the episode where you got sexually assaulted. And it was a very deep, it was a hard episode. How did you decompress after doing such a hard, emotional, physical episode?
You know, when I look on that time in my life, I had a lot of loving support around me in a way that I was very clear certain people who've been through the same experience may not have. So for me to have the grace of good people around me and writers that really understood this isn't a one-off, we're going to carry this until the show ends, which we did, you know, in that final season. Anytime we could re-engage with the journey of a survivor of sexual assault, we tried to and did our best to sort of narrate the character's specific journey, but also really give voice and understanding to the fact that this happens statistically at the numbers and rates that it does still. And for me personally, it was one of the biggest events of my life to be trusted with that story. It still remains true. And it still remains one of the things that makes me humbled that I've ever, you know, if you get to work, again, doing the thing you love, that's amazing. But when you get to tell a story that not only changes who you are on a cellular level, because I will carry that with me for the rest of my life, it was not real. What is very real is the people that continue to facilitate growth and harmony after an event that horrific. So I personally felt graced. I was reached out by a lot of survivors, and that helped me decompress with purpose, if that makes sense. It never felt, listen, I mean, one of the things that was so special about that is until characters saw me on screen, they didn't see me, they hid me from those guys. So those genuine responses, the first time, I remember very vividly many things about when we had our storyline, because I really loved that they brought our characters into that transition with each other. It just had so much meaning to me to see two people that don't connect, forcibly connect in a way because they had to. And she was my safe space, and then she was the thing I denied. There were so many layers to that I never really came out of it as long as that show was my job. I mean, it was always there for me with those characters. But if you watch that episode, the first time Kate sees me, the first time Paul sees me, it's incredible to watch how they respond. I mean, it's so pure, you know? And that was a gift from the director and the makeup artist to make sure that that was caught on camera and that people were all in. Like, there was a real reverence to that time amongst everyone, because I think everybody knew when Shonda chose to do it the way she chose to do it, that it was going to have an effect, and it did. And it was, for me, you know, I mean, to say something's hard is absurd. It wasn't hard, it felt so natural. The whole thing felt so evolved So I love the question, but the truth is, it just never left me. It wasn't I had a loving relationship and a husband that understood how much it meant to me to do the work for the audience to relate to. And there were some days that were tough because it's true. I mean, it happens. It wasn't just a fictional story. It was something that has had a profound effect on me. So I kept it in my heart and my bones in a way that it'll never go away. But thank you for asking.
Thank you.
There it is.
My name is Laura. I was just wondering if you guys had any say in what your specialty was on your respective shows, and if you could, what would you want your specialty to be? I don't know if Jules is able to claim it yet.
I don't have a specialty.
Right.
I think she wants to talk about, but I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no, that's already determined. Yeah. Yeah, it was OBGYN, neonatal. It was like all the things. In real life, people don't usually do neonatal and OBGYN and all the things. I think I was double board certified. As it should be, there was a bit of fiction there, but yeah.
You were very sought after for that.
Exactly.
What would you choose if you could choose a specialty?
Oh, I haven't even thought about that because I just loved it. I think one of the things that was kind of cool was when I was young in high school, there was this thing in Tucson, this professional internship program where when you were in your junior year or sophomore year, you could go and pick an internship. And I went to University of Arizona Hospital because I was like, oh, I think I want to be a surgical nurse because I knew I was too lazy to go through medical school. So I was like, no, but I want to be in surgery and like cut, like sew things up and do all that. And instead, of course, I was really just cleaning bedpans and like filing typing. Anyway, so to actually do a surgery scene like, for the first time was really cool. That was like kind of everything. I didn't need to be like a heart or brain or anything like that. I just was like, oh, I get to cut or fake cut, you know. And Linda Fine, our nurse, got to teach me how. And my hands were literally shaking. And I remember thinking, oh, they're doing it. It's like, this is my first time. I'm an expert. So I was just like, hold still. Yeah, and squeeze the blood pack. And make it look like, yeah. So that was cool.
Chief of staff was definitely set in stone, but then when I went into sexology and all those things, I was like, that was a flip we didn't do enough on.
Remember when the lady came to consult with us, the real sex therapist? We were just all asking her tons of questions. We're like, hold on, what about this?
I got a box of things.
Oh my God.
So that I was well versed. I gave a lot of really fun gifts to my girlfriend. Laura Berman, the Berman sisters. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Jada, and I just wanted to ask, so you all have been in multiple different shows and movies and stuff. So outside of the Grace universe, what has been your favorite character to play?
Who's going first?
I mean, it's hard to choose, especially so many very different characters, and I love them all for different reasons. If I had to pick a favorite because sort of formed who I am as an adult, I'd say Queen Mary from Rain. But just for shits and grins, it's still fun. I was so good about Square until that moment. But just something that I found really entertaining and fun, Rosella on this fun plan. Because I was that guy. I was mean in mini skirts and giving people attitude, but eating carbohydrates. Like that stereotypical mean girl. And it was so fun because I would say the kind of things that she said. And it is entertaining, it's really funny. All the time. So for just sheer enjoyment, that was more fun.
Yeah, I would say it's so hard to pick because I've been really fortunate and blessed to play so many different things. But maybe the first thing that came into my head was Gina Hess from Fargo season 1. That was really fun for me because it was right after I reroute private practice was the first thing I did. And it was such a departure from Addison. I was definitely at that time
shut-eye, and I got to do things that I never knew would be asked of me as an actor, and work with people that I admired so much, and that was a really specific experience that I loved, and I was really sad when that ended. Because in the same way that Charlotte was like, to your point, could not be further from me, but also taught me so much about me, it was the same with that character, Linda.
Hi, my name is Naomi. My question is that, do you guys like have any personal quirks that you find yourself putting into your characters or vice versa?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So, are you asking like if they take anything from their characters' quirks?
Yeah.
I mean the opposite.
But she said or vice versa.
I
Yeah.
know.
I love that.
Who wants to go?
I don't know if I necessarily noticed that I've done it until something starts airing. I find it more common the other way around. That like I very deliberately develop like tics or quirks for a character that then bleed into my real life. Or bleed into the next job, which is crazy. Like when I was on Rain, I had several different poses that I held my hands in, so I didn't know what to do with my hands, where to put pockets. So very specific hand poses, and it took me a couple of years to break myself those hand poses. Whenever I didn't know what to do with my hands, I've even caught myself doing once or twice my wrist, and I'm like, no. Do something else. So I more have difficulty with the other way around. Because I'm not so well considered in my little tics and quirks in my day-to-day life. They're very subconscious. Yeah. I don't even have any that I can think of.
No, it's more like what you were saying of being very conscious of a gesture that I would develop for one character and making sure that I left it with that character, not bringing it to the next one. And I don't always succeed at it, but yeah, there's a couple of little bits and bobs that will let you go, oh no, that's not this person. Or it's an easy thing to do, you know, if you're like, I want to get a point across, I'm going to do this thing. And it's like, yeah, that's not, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're probably all a little similar that way. I like to steal behavior from people. I love to steal behavior from something I observe or someone I know that fits the world of what I'm doing. Like that's fun for me, and that anchors me into whoever I'm playing. I mean, Charlotte King was my mother in so many ways, to the degree of which I was concerned about her watching it. But she loved it, so I thought, great, then I pulled that off and I still have a good relationship with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mabel. I have a question for Adelaide. If Drusella, King Mary, and Jules were stuck on a deserted island together, how do you think they would act? And also, are you excited for Jules' future?
I'm very excited for Jules' future on Grace. It's going to be fun. This new season is already heartbreaking. Incredible. Love it. You're all going to cry. Actually, Mary, Jules, and Drusilla on an island. I feel like Drusilla and Jules would be like besties, and Mary would try to boss them all the time, and they'd be like, oh, so for real. And I think very rapidly, all three of them would be like, okay, well, let's use boning in this corset to make like fish hooks or something. You know, they figure it out, but I definitely think Drusilla and Jules would get along best. It would take Mary a hot minute to just come to terms with the fact that being a queen on a deserted island with two other women is not a real thing at all.
Hey, Walsh. My question is, you should have been the chief of surgery in that episode. Would you snatch it to someone if you had to?
I mean, in a pinch if I had to. I hate to do it, but sure, I'd take it.
Love you, Kate.
I love you. Thank you very much.
Hi guys!
My name is Leah, and this is me, and you can ask questions.
First off, just wanted to say we both love private practice so much. So this is for Kate and KaDee. It was really clear like how good the dynamic was with all the cast, and we just wanted to know what you guys miss most about being all together.
That, being all together. I mean, honestly, we still, like Kate did a play. Crystal wrote all of us and said, hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but Kate Walsh, I'm in New York with Kate Walsh doing the play, you can come out. I mean, this still happens all these years later. We still check in, and I don't know that that happens with every cast, but it really, you know it, and you go on to meet wonderful people and do wonderful characters and have wonderful jobs. That was a really specific alchemy that we all had, and we were all, I mean, we saw each other go through huge events in our lives. So many. And the crew, I mean, you loved it because it was true, you know?
Yeah, we had a great chemistry, beyond chemistry. I think it was, we were talking earlier about the Q&A that we had, that these were all seasoned, like so many actors, like Tim and Amy and Tay had had their own shows. Paul Ailes had played Cooper. He and I came up together at Chicago Theater and waiting tables together, and we always had these jobs that we were never in scenes together, but we're like, oh, we both have this little movie shooting in Chicago. Oh, we both got this little thing, and then so private practice was really exciting just for that thing, to know someone since you're 22, and then, oh my God, we're now 42, we're working together. So that was really cool, and we just, the other thing I think was unique to it is, this was, you gotta remember, this was network television, which you guys still, it's not streaming, we only do 10 or 12 or 15. This was 22, 24 episodes of television, so you're with these people 10 months a year, and more with them than our own family. So they become, either gonna really jive, or we're not. And we did, we jived, and we became a family, and it was we still see each other, and we're on group texting, and like,
We've done some marches together. I know there's a term that Amy Brennan would say that I love, which is puppies in a box. Because that is what it felt like. We were puppies in a box all day, every day. And the most fun I would have, and it was a disaster for the crew, of course, was we were all in the same scene. Because we would have so
the
much
kitchen
fun.
scenes or the boardroom scenes, we would take, I remember taking her this way.
Good.
Thank you, we love you.
Thank you.
Who was the one that was most likely to get everyone laughing or make someone laugh? Oh, really?
Are you kidding me? Kate would like randomly, it'd be a long day, and all of a sudden you'd hear, oh yeah, she would meow or something, and we'd be like
a tick, it really did, it probably is, like a mild form of, it's definitely some behavior, the meowing. It's also actually a good vocal warm-up for the nasal resonators. Like it's that, and then in bark, you get the lower gutturals.
Just doing me ones.
But it was usually like when I was there, getting impatient, we all got that stuff, especially in OR scenes. I'm sure you know how OR scenes are. It was fun.
hilarious. I mean, you guys, a singer, you've watched the show, but like the lady person is also hysterical.
Thanks, guys. Walsh, honey, taste like cake.
Oh God, just a big crew.
It's true though, I love watching y'all because it felt like you could root for any one of you to be together with each other because y'all all had such great cast chemistry. So it's just that feeling of like watching people who like being around each other act.
Thank you, that's nice.
I think we have to wrap.
Yeah, we have to wrap. I wanted to say thank you so much for your amazing fan questions. Those were so awesome. And can you guys give it up one more time for our panel?